Hey guys, welcome to another Hot Mess Monday. This is going to be one big hot mess, and if you would like to see extra shenanigans and outtakes, you just let me know. So I got three cute little projects here. We're going to start with these two little Easter eggs that I got from Dollar Tree probably 2-3 years ago because I can find absolutely no wood craft pieces at my Dollar Trees in my area. Welcome to Texas. You can tell by the looks at it, we're going to make a little chickie and a little bunny. I got this inspiration off of Pinterest, and I have seen many other crafters make these and make them way better than me. So go check out YouTube, go check out Pinterest, and they're going to turn out cute. My little chick here and the little bunny, I more got my inspiration from Blessing's Craft Therapy. Oh, Colleen, she's like amazing. She's a hoot. I love her. I'm going to link her channel down below. You got to go check her out if you don't already know about her. So I had one of those little carrots and I cut, and all of this is Dollar Tree pieces from like 2-3 years ago. I cut the little top off the carrot and I sanded it and I sanded the carrot. And then I got two little hearts. We're going to take just a yellow apple barrel and I'm going to paint the back and the front of this egg. This one obviously is going to be our little chickie. So I paint the back, I let it dry. And guys, if this is bopping all over, hot mess, I'm so sorry. Okay, I wanted to do something kind of cute with this. I did give that 2 coats front and back. All of our little 2 hearts and our carrot that I cut the top off, we're going to use jack-o'-lantern there. The yellow was just strictly lemon. This is all apple barrel paint. And I'm going to take my pouncer brushes, of course. And you know, the first one, I do the wipe, swipe. And then the second coat, I pounce. You see that bottle of glue over there. You know where this is going. It's going to go bad. Trust me. Y'all are lucky I cut out the first take and I only put in the second take of me trying to do this. I wanted to make crackle, so I wanted to put my glue on. You can see I'm already on the struggle bus and the glue won't come out. That's because it was brand new and it has this little plastic lid inside of it. Kind of cool, so it don't dry out. Anywho, once I finally figured that mess out, I put way too much glue on because usually the more glue you got, the bigger your cracks, and I didn't want big cracks. Didn't want tiny cracks. I wanted medium cracks. And then I'm going to take my plaster. I'm going to dry it for like 30 seconds before I put my plaster on. Because you don't want it wet. You want it a little bit tacky from what I hear. And sometimes the way it goes, it does work pretty well. But for the most part, for me, it does not. Anywho, so I made this just a little tacky. Going to take my plaster. And I'm going to get it loaded up, but not too loaded up. And you just want to try to make one swipe and not keep painting back and forth over and over, or you're going to pull it right back up. Okay? So leave it, freeze, dry it, you'll start to crackle. My goal for this was to make it look like the little chick was hatching out of his egg. So it came out cute, but it did not completely give me what I was hoping for. And I guess I just left this in because Moose busted in and we're about to have a problem. Moose busted all up in here like a hot mess freight train. And guess what's going to happen? Yep, he's starting to look like a skunk. So we have to take a moment of silence here and pause while I clean the moose. He was so happy about that. So happy that guess what? Hang on. Boom. He come right back. Anywho, so you can see it over there crackling to the side a little bit. While that is setting up, and you can see all my oranges done, we're going to work on the other egg, which is going to be a bunny. Now, the bunny came out really cute. I'm happier with the bunny. We're going to stick with the plaster because I don't have any white, and I'm not a big old stark white person. You know, I like that country. I like that little rustic vibe to it. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to paint the back, dry it, and paint the front and the sides. Now, those 2 little feet on the blue painter's tape right there, I filled in the holes because they came off an old bunny sign where his little feet were hanging from the Dollar Tree. Every bit of this is Dollar Tree stuff, guys. So I took that spackle, I filled in the holes, but he already had paper feet on him, see? But I pulled it off because I wanted his feet in the opposite direction. Or something. I don't know. I can't remember why I did that. But anyway, I pulled the paper off and I painted everything white. And you could see. So there's my pieces for the bunny. Over there on the right, pieces for the ducky. Okay, we're going to put our little chickie together first. I sanded it down a little bit to get some more of that yellow out. I wanted the chickie to bust out of his shell, so it's okay, but not cute. Moose, stop. He's playing with other things. Okay, so we're going to make this cutesy. Thank you, Joanna and Tiffany, for introducing me to these glasses that you can get at Hobby Lobby. I love these things. So I know they might be a little too small, but they're a hoot. They crack me up. So our little chickie here is going to have some glasses, and so's our bunny. Okay, so the little hearts, I'm going to take everything and, of course, I believe I used walnut. There's baby. I believe I used my walnut distressing ink, and none of my inks work good, guys, because I just bought a sample pack of all the little ones, and so they're all dried out. I've tried adding water, and that's getting to the point that that's not working anymore. I'm just going to have to go buy me a big one. Anyway, I distressed all around his little feetsies, the little hearts. Put those down at the bottom. Moose, stop! He wants to play with the little foam eggs. Here, take the foam egg. Go. Be gone. Okay. If you guys could only see what's happening right now. Okay. Gracie's laying on one side of me, and Moose is over here playing with a foam egg that I did not use in my project. So if things go haywire, chaos, I'm sorry. Okay. Those glasses stick on there pretty good. You could see that I stuck the top of the carrot to the top of his head, but that pops off, so you'll see me do that later. I have a piece of jute twine, and I unraveled it just down to one piece, because that's that thick jute nautical jute that you can get at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to hot glue it on just enough to stick out the top of his head, and then cut that chunk off. And then I am going to make sure that's stuck on there pretty good. I'm going to get a piece of ribbon, and it's just a piece of burlap ribbon. This came from Hobby Lobby. Just a scrap piece of ribbon. You could even use painter's tape if you wanted to. And glue that on just to make sure that jute twine sticks. Now, even though, aren't you proud of me? I used my little spatula. Worked better than I did last night when I make the last project coming up here. Stick around for that one, because, yeah, blistered the fingers on that one. So even though that's one strand off the jute twine after I unraveled it, I'm now unraveling that one strand a little bit more. So I'm pulling it apart because, you know, the little chickies, they have all the hair at the top. Well, now I've got a comb, and I'm kind of combing that out a little bit to make him fuzzy. You can see the little orange top part of the carrot that I chopped off there. And like I said, it fell off. All I did was hot glue that on the top. You guys, I did that for sake of time. Use wood glue or your Titebond. Don't just use hot glue for this stuff. Yeah, use the Titebond or that wood glue from Dollar Tree. That's some good stuff. Anywho, so I did cut it after I combed him up a little bit, glued it down to the top of his head a little bit more, and stuck that back on. Is that not cute? Oh, we're not done. So I'm going to take the bottom of the carrot, and I was debating. I had these tiny, tiny carrots. Here come bull in a china shop from Hobby Lobby that I got. That's that little bitty orange piece that Moose just laid on that you can't see now. And was undecided if I wanted the little beak or using this bigger carrot for a bigger beak. And I went with the bigger beak. The little beak looked better with the glasses, but not overall on the little peep as a whole. This is our little peep. I'm taking my distressing the walnut again and going all the way around the edge and his nose and his feet again. I'm just taking 2 square, which actually I ended up using 3. I glued 2 of them together, glued it to the back, and then I glued a third one to the back of the 2. So it kind of looks like a pyramid to help him stand up, because this was not standing up that well. Again, do not use hot glue, friends. Use your Titebond. See, he's already going. That's why I stopped the video. Use your Titebond or your wood glue. Okay, bunny time, bunny time. So those hearts came from Dollar Tree with the sticks, and I just trimmed the stick off. That's going to be his nose. We're going to use another pair of glasses. You can see his feet already. I've got 2 ears, and you see that beard? That came off this gnome that came from the Dollar Tree. Yep, we're deconstructing that gnome to use him up there, because I've got plenty of gnomes, and that was just one of the Dollar Tree $1.25, maybe it was $1 at the time. I was going to put a tail on the back of him, but then I thought, no, because I've got to have the tumbling tower blocks on the back to help him stand. So this is why I pulled the paper off. That's why, it had glitter on it. And you know, I don't do glitter. It ain't Christmas. We ain't doing glitter. You know, I don't even like glitter that much at Christmas. So I'm going to use the felt, and that's why I pulled that paper off. So, you know how I made those little tiny toe bean holes? A hole punch. The hole punch cut through the felt. Woo! And I got that felt at Dollar Tree. And then to make his big pad on the bottom of his foot, I actually cut it out of the paper I pulled off and traced it. Sure did. I just wanted a little bit of dimension and the felt and the softness rather than just the paper glitter stuff. And I wanted to make sure that the white plaster matched, and it did not match paper-wise. Okay, back to taking this jute. I'm pulling off 3 more itty-bitty teeny tiny strings, and I'm going to line those up. And Moose and Gracie are about to fight here. Guys, this is going my late. I'm already late, and it's chaos. And okay, and it's only Monday. Yay. Okay, so I twisted those. I took 3 of them, twisted them in the middle, hot glued it on. Put a little bit more hot glue, and I'm going to take that little heart and glue it upside down. I also had to get some paint, and I believe it was Cameo Pink by Apple Barrel, and paint it where I cut the stick off, and then I had to sand it down a little bit. So I painted her up. Now we're just trimming up his little whiskers. These are his whiskers, and now, of course, we're going to set things on fire. Moose, you're horrible. He literally made Gracie mad and kicked her off the table, and now he's laying in her spot when he had plenty of room on the other side. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I just need to film these shenanigans instead of me crafting. There's his glasses. I kind of thought of the Chickie as a little girl and Mr. Bunny as a boy. Anyway, going to use that walnut distressing ink, and I'm going to go around his little footies, and I'll of course go around his whole entire body. Now we need to glue feet on. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to kind of trace where I want them to sit, so you can kind of see it right there. And now I know where to put my glue. Again, guys, use wood glue, use your Titebond. I was just in a hurry, and yeah, that's kind of biting me in the hiney right now because things are falling apart. I'm going to have to go back, especially with Moose Man here, and put everything back on with Titebond. So now we're going to take our 2 ears, and I kind of cut the bottoms off because they were pinched together, but it was messy. Of course, it was Dollar Tree, $1.25. No. So I cut it off, pinch it back together so he kind of has that pinch look to him, like an ear, and I glued those onto the back. We're going to take this beard, but obviously I don't want the whole thing. I want a puff at the top of his head between his ears. So I'm combing it out a little bit. Then I'm going to take it and part it just so I can get to the material at the bottom where it's sewn. And I try to show you this, but I don't know if you can see it very well. So see where I pulled it apart? You can see it better here in just a second. So the backing that holds the hair, see where all the little holes are? That's why I separated it, because I'm going to cut right there, and then I didn't have a bunch of hair everywhere. I know they say cut it from the back, but I wanted to make sure I had a good size. And then I'm just going to fold each side in and glue it on top of itself. See me put a glue on each end, fold that in, and then I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of his head. Bam. And now he's got a fuzzy little head, just like Mr. Chickie. Mrs. Chickie got a fuzzy little head. Mr. Bunny got a fuzzy little head. And there you go. And I'll put tumbling tower blocks on his bottom on the back as well so that he stands up. And I have got to learn a better technique for that, because trying to get things to stand up does not work out for me too well. Here I am playing with the comb, trying to make his hair all poofy and shaggy. Yep, Bull and China Shop comes through again. Yep, so there's Mrs. Chickie. I thought she kind of more looked like a Mrs. because she had a thing. I need to put a bow on the top of her head. Yes, I need to put a bow in her hair up there instead of that little orange piece. Okay, anyway. All right, next project. I thought I put a picture in here of the Chickie and stuff. Oh, I guess I didn't. Oh, well, sorry, guys. You'll see him at the end here. Okay, so I cannot find these bunnies anymore at Dollar Tree. Like, literally no wood pieces. If you like that cute little bunny treats thing, I'll link that video down below, but it is also in my spring Easter playlist that I will also link at the end here. Anywho, so when you run out of pieces, you take it, you trace it. onto a piece of cardboard. And then I took it and traced it onto this foam board, all from Dollar Tree. And I used 2 pieces and I glued them together with Titebond. I used my blade to cut through it. And then I just had to use some glue there because, you know, on that foam board, that paper layer likes to come off. So I wanted to make sure that was good and sturdy. And you could just use cardboard. You could just use 1 piece of foam board. I just wanted this guy pretty thick. So it's 2 pieces of foam board glued together with Titebond. Okay. Now you see me taking this dry spackle, and I cut a lot of this out, but oh boy, this was so much fun. I literally made a mess. I am going around the edges just to make sure you can't tell that that's foam, and then the paper falling off, you know. And then I rubbed it on top of him, and then I started patting it with my fingers, and now I have texture. And he kind of looks like a fuzzy bunny. I was too excited about this. Guys, I must have played with this for like 30, 45 minutes. Look at my fingers. And then I thought, wait, let me get my, like, you know, chippy brush here, distressing brush. And I pounced that all over. And then you could see that little small one right out here that I grabbed. That one, that worked good to get up into the ears so that I could keep the little bumps around his face and everything. So anyway, guys, loved this. Now, this had to dry for a couple of days. That's why this video is kind of running late. Plus, I was a hot mess and I was lazy this weekend. Okay. I took some of these chickies from the Dollar Tree. I took that spackle, filled in their holes, which I did not have to do, but it got done anyway. I'm doing the old Mod Podge iron-on method. Boom. There you go. You can also see on the yellow one, I used the fire method to try to get all the way around that, and that did not work out so well. Here I am trying to focus in on vintage photo, and then I also got the sample pack of distressing ink with the pretty colors. What I'm wanting to do is match the colors to the chickies, which turned out to be a hot mess. So you'll just see that here later because you did not want, if I left every bit of this in, this video would have been like 4 hours long. So yeah, you don't want to see that. Taking vintage photo, went around the edges because of my texture. This little brush thing, I got 3 sizes from Temu. I know a lot of you don't shop there, so I know you could find these on Amazon. If you guys ever see me use something and want me to start like an Amazon thing, you guys let me know. Okay, see how nice and distressed he is right now? Yeah, I messed that whole thing up later. Anyway, you can see my little chickies are distressed. I used the color that matched the paper and the vintage photo. I kind of did a little bit of both. So I'm not exactly happy with it, but it is what it is. So we are going to glue those guys onto the bunny. Okay, kind of peeking and poking around him. This piece of board I probably got for like 25 cents when all the Family Dollars were bought out and closing. This is a beautiful piece of board. I slathered it down with my antique wax, and then after it dried a little bit, I took some of it off, not a lot, with a dry paper towel. Now Moose is chewing on me. Okay, look, don't take another fingernail off of me, dude. Then I went after it with my plaster. I was trying to do a like heavy distressing with the plaster, but it didn't work. And then I took a wet wipe, and this is what you got, folks. Yeah. Anyway, see where the burn method didn't work? I'm using Titebond and hot glue to glue bunny and chickies. Chickies are glued to bunny. And now I'm gluing that to the board when the board was dry. Again, this is why it kind of took a little longer. Moose is putting in his 2 cents. Press, hold. I had to cut out all this embellishment stuff, or yeah, we would have been here for 3 hours, guys. That grass was called, what was it called? Natural the Excelsior grass, but it was a greenish. I loved it. Anyway, that's what went around the bottom. Florals from Dollar Tree, carrots. We got all sorts of stuff going on. Those little bows on my little peeps, I got those from Hobby Lobby the other day. And we have Love My Peeps. Those letters, My Peeps, are just that thick, not cardstock, cardboard. No, not cardboard either. I don't know what you want to call it. The heart came from Dollar Tree, painted it pink. Love My Peeps. You can see I put a little bow on my buddy. Now, do you notice on the bunny that there is no longer a brown distressing edge? Because I forgot to Mod Podge everything. So I went ahead and Mod Podged my chickies and the bunny. And when I did that, my bunny turned completely brown. And I didn't want a brown bunny. So I had to take my plaster and go back over my bunny after my chicks were glued on it. Yep. But it was okay. We fixed it. And then you can see I took my Sharpie and made the little squiggle, squiggle, dot, dot on my chickies and my heart. And that took a while, but that was a lot of fun to make once I got past the point. Guys, try the bunny with the spackling. Oh my God, so much fun. Here you go, guys. Final reveal. Here is Mr. Bunny and Mrs. Chickie. I put some distressing on his ears and stuff too. You know, we got to look all dirty. I need to put a bow on my chickie because her glasses look like old lady glasses, kind of with those little points, you know, back in the 60s, 70s or whatever. I don't know. Am I dating myself? Anyway. And then there's our Love My Peeps. I'm going to put that on my door to my classroom. I love my peeps. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry this was late. This was a big, huge hot mess, and I so apologize for that. I will be here Friday in Creators Talent as a guest host at 6 o'clock. So hope to see you there at that one. If you want to support the Moose Man and his craziness, there is the barcode to buy, or the QR code to buy me a coffee. Thank you guys for being here. Do all that Facebook, YouTubey stuff. I love you guys, and I'll see you Friday.